What's going on, everyone? It's Indy here with Ultimate Tool Reviews, and today we're taking a look at the Wuben X2 EDC flashlight. Gonna have a nice solid aluminum case on here. Now your pricing is gonna be kind of a large, range here, starting around about $100 for some of the more basic finishes and the Osram module. Whereas you move up to the higher end finishes, you also move to the new Samsung module as well. So there's a lot to go over this little flashlight, and it's got some kind of interesting features to it. So let's check this thing out in detail. All right, so there's a lot going on with these little flashlights here. It's actually significantly heavier than it looks. So I put this on the scale here. Let's check this out. It's actually very, very solid here, coming in at 5.5 ounces on the scale here. Now it does have a USB-C rechargeable right here. Now I'm a little concerned about this little flap here. I mean, it's kind of cool, this magnetic flap here. Right there is your battery indicator. So if I were to say turn this on, you can see it's just glowing blue there. You can see it definitely better in the dark, but it tells you, if you go to red, you're getting low on your battery there. Kind of nice to have that on there somewhere. Now I'm just kind of concerned about it is IP68 rated, which is phenomenal. Basically, it's usable for up to, basically, I think it's 1 meter underwater for up to 2 hours, which is, of course, amazing. I wouldn't say, don't take this with you swimming, of course. They definitely just say not to. But if you get caught in the rain, that's no big deal, of course, on this little flashlight. I will say this thing is extremely bright. This is just on low right now. I like the one button operation on this to change from all the modes. So basically, it's just going to have a hold, and that's going to go to medium, and hold, we're going to go to high. Now, there's a turbo mode on this. Basically, you just double click, and that is insanely bright on that turbo mode. All right, so when you talk EDC, that can really mean a lot of different things. Some of it like, maybe a pen flashlight. You might like some of the, larger, higher output, like the ThruNite TN4A, or you might just want like a keychain flashlight. Kind of depends really what you want to have. For me, I like to kind of have the best of both worlds. I like to have something on my keychain. I got just the O-Light on here. This is the EOS on here, a 3 EOS on here. Whereas this would be a great flashlight to carry with you camping. You don't want to carry this every day with you. That's also a pretty cool option. But I probably would keep this mostly in my truck just for emergencies. And of course, I want to carry with me. Maybe I'm doing like a job that's going to be, in somewhere in an attic, or it can be somewhere darker. This is a great flashlight because it stands up, which is pretty cool. So if I were to put this down, like, hey, there's going to be some light here. Uh-oh, it's going to start rolling away. So that's a big advantage to having a flashlight that's not going to be circular. And that's not even the coolest part here. There's actually a lot of details with this flashlight and over the whole package here. So they give you a lanyard, which is included. It looks just like a regular lanyard here. But on the inside, you actually have a tape measure that is in centimeters, which is pretty cool. But that's not the coolest part. Check this out. You hit this little button here, and your lanyard pops out. That's going to be your USB-C charging cable. It is the lanyard. I mean, that is so cool. Really nifty design there. That is just awesome to have. If you don't have USB-C, you can just carry a lanyard with you and you are good to go. That is just so cool to see. All right, so here's some testing I did at night. Kind of just shining this light here. You can see it go from low, medium, high, and then also turbo. Now, I will say this is definitely going to be a floodlight style flashlight. That's of course to be expected. Don't expect it to be basically a spotlight and be able to get, significantly farther distance. It does really well, if you're walking down a path, you can use the low and medium light very effectively. You need to really light up something in front of you. The high and turbo modes are excellent. I also found battery life to become totally acceptable, about 80 hours they claim in low. Pretty much, this thing is going to be mostly battery in here to power this flashlight, which is pretty cool. I never actually got this thing, depleted where I needed to fully recharge it. They claim a 3-hour recharge time, which is just phenomenal. I mostly use it on medium for me when I'm just, walking around at night, just using it as a regular flashlight. I would assume I should be able to get around 40, maybe 30 hours of runtime in medium mode. And of course, it's very easy to quickly plug in and go from there. So it's not really, something you need to worry about, constantly having batteries for. You can even charge this in your truck as well, too. So it's not that big of a deal, having extra batteries, which is my biggest problem with my ThruNite TN4A. This thing burns batteries like crazy. It's a great flashlight, just I wish it had maybe a lithium ion option instead of just regular AA's. Even charging up rechargeable AA's, it's still kind of annoying there. This is what they call the ink splash design. From looking at the photos, it seems like each one of these is going to be slightly different. from what I've seen also all in other reviews, it seems like the pattern here does, differentiate slightly. I'm not sure if this is done like custom every time or done by hand, but it's kind of cool to see a little bit of uniqueness on each one of these flashlights. I do think it looks a lot better in person than it did in the photos, and it even matches, of course, on the belt clip, which is really cool to see that match exactly on the belt clip. So really, really happy with that. And I think overall, it's a just well, made flashlight with the attention to detail is just beyond, amazing on this thing. All right, so I've been running in intro mode here for about a minute now. We're hitting about 110 peak here for temperature. It definitely is hot to the touch, so it does get quite toasty here. I will say ambient temp right now, I'm just in my garage. It's 95 degrees outside. We're in the Florida summer right now, and my ambient temp in the garage is about 91. So yeah, it does get very, very toasty, especially in that turbo mode, and it does burn through battery quite quickly. All right, so at the end of the day, Wuben did an excellent job with the X2. Especially these custom finishes are just phenomenal. Now, for the $300 price point, do you need a custom finish? Probably not. I think the $100 one will be just fine. But of course, having some of these cool custom finishes is really cool to see. And of course, it's definitely worth it, in my opinion. Just kind of something to have that is super unique like this. So I think they absolutely hit it out of the park, especially with the lanyard that is also going to be your USB charging cable. That is phenomenal. The overall build quality of this is just excellent. It's super thick, super tough. The only thing that I did see from reading some reviews on Amazon, I've heard like the lighter finishes, like some of the whites, they do kind of rub off quite easily if you're putting this on, like, maybe with your keys in your pocket. Maybe it's, somewhere else that can be rubbing on something else that's also hard. So be aware of that. If you're using some of the higher end finishes on this, be careful that can also rub off quite easily. That's the only thing that I've seen that people have not liked so far on this. But I really don't see any major downsides to this, and I do like that it is square because I can then, of course, set it on somewhere it's not going to roll off. So honestly, Wuben, fantastic job, guys. You want to check it out? Check out the link in the description, and thanks for watching, guys. Take care.